my mic on. Testing. Can you all hear me? Can I call it Ashley? Oh my god. There we are.
All right.
And has it? Oh, there we are. Cool. Hello and welcome. So, before we begin, these two both are having the typical Texas. they're having the typical Texas blues. I made sure I got a really good picture for Kooly. Lep, you get to deal. You get to deal with that one, Lep.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
I am so proud of my artwork there. I hand drew that, just so everyone knows. 100%.
Definitely did. He definitely did as well.
Yeah, that's why we're a couple minutes late. I hand drew it.
Eric, you might want to check the good old nameplate there under.
Oh Jesus!
Illustrious guest. There we go. Professional podcast host, by the way.
Stop it! 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 I didn't do that. It's right next to each other.
It's cursed all over again.
I know. Oh my god! What did I do last time? Didn't I have curse as third artifact for like the entire podcast? I had curse.
Yeah.
I tried to like low key just change it, thinking no one saw it, and just like there's like 5 clips of it, just low key just changing, and it's just I'm a professional. I do this all the time. Cancel Eric? Why?
I get called KoolySmiley or Kooly Smiles pretty much daily, so it's fine.
it's you know, it's yeah. I'm a professional at this show. But welcome, guys. For anyone that's new, welcome. My name is Nomad Eric. This is our weekly podcast, the Fireside Chats, that the Fireside crew hosts once a week, Sunday nights at 8:30. This one might have been early, but we're doing it on normal time. And as always, we have a guest with us today, which is the wonderful KoolySmiley.
Hello. That's me.
Yes. Twitch partner KoolySmiley, by the way. And
what? When did that happen?
I know, right? Wow. But yeah, so we're here today. So for those of you guys that are new to the podcast, we do a lot of different conversations here. It's usually a conversation-based podcast. We talk about things going on in the streamer world, things going on in the gaming world, things going on, and basically content creation in general. Talk about different news stories that kind of relate to content creation in general. We also try to tackle things from an educational aspect. So if we do ever talk about anything that is drama related, we don't pour gasoline on anything. We don't talk at it from a drama perspective. We talk at it as a, why did this happen? How can we better ourselves from this perspective? So we talk about a wide ranging of topics here. So if this is your first time being here, welcome in. And if not, well, you know how this usually goes. Something's going to go wrong and I'll have to fix it. Oh man!
I mean, we've already started off with a misspelling, so we're good to go on that front. I think.
What?
The
No,
quality
that
bar
didn't
is
happen.
set.
Remember, that
No.
wasn't real.
See, thank
Right
you.
where it usually is.
But yeah, I just try to breathe in and talk at the same time I try to drink, so that's going great. I'm gonna choke myself before this gets started. We're gonna be talking about a lot of different stuff today. We're gonna be G4, the G4 host stuff. We're also gonna be talking about YouTube, going from YouTube to other platforms because all 4 of us have done that. And then obviously we're gonna be talking about going from Mixer to Twitch, which is what Miss Kooly here has experienced.
Yarr.
So usually we start this off with an icebreaker, but since probably most of these guys don't know about you, introduce yourself.
Hello. My name's KoolySmiley. I have been a content creator for almost 10 years. I started at the ripe age of 16 on YouTube, and I did that full time for, like, I guess, 6 years. And then Mixer became a thing, and then Mixer wasn't a thing anymore, and now I'm here on Twitch. So... Before all of that, I did musical theater my entire life. I was trained as an entertainer since I was 6 years old. and I've worked on stage. I've done commercial work, film work, voiceover work, and now I'm trying to get into hosting and hopefully more voiceover, acting, and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's a wide array, which would make sense from someone that kind of does this professionally, you know. Yeah. So
lots of entertaining.
it's a lot of the same. We've all got different backgrounds coming. All three of us. So we'll get probably more into this a little bit later. But I know all three of us started on YouTube, and we met up through a community group. That was an experience.
It was a wild time.
Yeah. So it was a YouTube channel. He called himself the WGBS Podcast. Great guy, ran by Matt. That stands for Weapons Grade Bullshit. And it was a lot of fun. You know, he did a lot of like small YouTube reviews and stuff like that. And so all three of us were kind of getting started at the same time, and we ended up meeting him. And technically I met Lep first in a Facebook group, because we all know how disastrous they can be.
Which was also a wild time.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty
sure
sure
the very end.
We left those about a year and a half ago. And we've only been streaming for like 2 years. But yeah, that was kind of how we all got started as well, was with YouTube. I actually did YouTube a long time ago. And then I did an acting thing in freshman year of college, which was 2011. So I was 18, and it was all acting. It was theater based, because I was a theater minor. So I wanted to get other people involved that were actors and stuff like that, or people that just wanted to entertain. And so we made our first YouTube channel, and it was a disaster, but it was a presentable disaster. Like, you could tell there was potential there, but none of us had ever done it before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was my first time writing, first time directing, first time filming, first time editing, you know, that grand of a scale. So you could tell it needed refinement. And you could tell with further installments, hit my mic, further installments, it would have happened. But college got way too busy and we couldn't commit to it. So I stopped YouTube in 2012, and I didn't pick it back up again until 2016, I think. And I really feel like I got into YouTube way too late. When it came to like trying to start a YouTube channel from the ground up. It just doesn't happen anymore if you're trying to start strictly off of YouTube.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think the three of us...
As far as I can tell, is YouTube right now is so oversaturated that the only way that you can start from the ground up is if you are helping out answering a question. I think that's what you have to say, is answering a question. So if someone's looking for a tutorial for something, how to do something, how to do this, that, like, people are always going to search for tutorials, and that is a great way to start from the ground up. But everything else, unless
you
you're
have to be Google.
Exactly.
Yeah,
unless you're like Shock Factor Jake Paul, it's hard to grow. Unfortunately.
I'm just saying, I have a real good meme in the works, so that's where that's my next step.
The only videos...
This picture is a good start.
The only videos that blow up for me now...
Picture, honestly.
The only videos that blow up for me now are videos that are like the only ounce of drama I've ever been a part of, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's like, I didn't even...
The ones that blow up for me is the ones where I'm the center of the drama, apparently. So
yeah, well, it's funny because, like, you know, because I met you, Kooly, through Third Artifact, I think. Because how do you know her? Did you know her before?
Honestly, we've just been simping over each other's photos on Twitter for a long time. So
that's how every great friendship starts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, so I met Mackenzie, and do you know who Yellow Spoon Girl is?
I do not.
So she's a Twitch partner as well. She's
okay.
She does a lot of commentary. So I met both of them and another creator named Yosh. I don't know if you know who he is or not. But I met the three of them over a really bad debacle back in like August, like last August. and it was indie developer that was it was a lot of horrible stuff. Like he came out as like an abuser and stuff like that. And I was unaware of this. I was one of his mods. He was an indie developer, so I financially supported him and promoted him.
Right.
And then when all that came out, I was distraught. And then my name dropped as basically someone he was using throughout all of this. So I freaked out, and I was extremely upset. I have anxiety. It triggered everything. And so the only outlet I had was YouTube, you know? So I grabbed my phone, I walked outside my apartment, and I just took a walk. And I hit record. I didn't edit it. I didn't do anything. I just hit record, and I just talked to a camera for 12 minutes, and then I literally just posted it on YouTube. And it's because I had a lot of community members and a lot of friends that supported him. And I was like, this is I'm no longer doing this because he's basically taking advantage of me. And my friends blew that shit up.
Yeah.
And Yellow Spoon Girl, who's Twitch partner, close to like what 43K followers or some shit on Twitch, just randomly DMs me and it's like, "Hey, I saw your video. Are you okay?" And I'm just like, how far did this video reach?
Yeah.
Like, why is this the video of all videos that the algorithm wants to pick up and go, everyone needs to see this?
Viewers cling to the drama, man.
And I hate it.
If it's something that can answer a question. I mean, with everything going on Twitter, with abusers coming to light and all of that, you have to remember, like, viewers only see one side of every content creator. We always just show them what we want them to see. And even if we could be the most authentic 100% ourselves on stream, they still don't see the 100% ourselves off stream. So people are going to put their faith in pretty much anyone that they believe in on the internet. And a lot of people probably put their faith in that person. And you were answering a question, you know?
Yeah.
Was this person really a dirtbag? And you answered that question.
Yeah. Of course, I don't know if I really needed to because there was enough pictures and stuff going around to kind of prove that. But it was you know, I was really upset.
Release for you,
the sad thing about all of this, the sad thing about abusers being brought to light is most people don't believe hard evidence when it comes from women. So the fact that you are a white male and you're showing your side makes way more people give a shit. And that's fucked up, but it's true.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Out of curiosity, while we're on the topic, because obviously that was almost one of the ways that as we moved on from that and kind of continued our creation, I think that was one of the kind of key factors for you, Eric, is sort of like moving away from the platform. And I think for me and Leb, it's very similar things, moving away from YouTube just over time because of the way the content sphere of YouTube seemed to be going. We didn't really feel like we had a place for it. Now I still use it because they keep pulling me back in. But I was wondering, Kooly, because you mentioned that you moved from YouTube to Mixer. I was wondering what was the factor in that for you. Was it just kind of a time for a change in your regard, or was there something specifically that you were like, you know, I feel like I'm better suited elsewhere right now, you know?
I had no intention of leaving YouTube when I started being on Mixer. At the time, Mixer was still called Beam. They weren't super well known, and it's not a secret. My brother worked at Microsoft at the time. So he reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, this website's small and you want to create more content and this might get more eyes on you." And I was like, "Cool, I'll just try it." But my plan, like at the time, it was actually what we call on YouTube Vlogmas. I was doing vlog every day from Thanksgiving to Christmas. And so I was busy as shit. Like I didn't have time to be a streamer. So I just tried it out for like an hour for like 4 days straight. And my first stream, I got rated by the top Beam streamer at the time. So I had over 100 people in my first stream. And I don't know, like it just instantly felt like a community. There was instant gratification, which you don't get with YouTube. With YouTube, you have to work for hours and hours and hours with no gratification. And then you just hope that people like it once you post it. And so it was a feeling that I never understood before. It almost felt like I was doing stage theater again, which was at the time, actually, I was doing that professionally too. I had no time to do all three of these things.
That's a very good comparison. I've never heard before.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I think we've all done theater stuff, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I was a theater minor, so
yeah,
it doesn't get much more theater than that.
Yeah, well, whilst I wasn't at that level, I've done theater work and acting work. That's an interesting comparison I've never heard before. The idea of it is that same rewarding and almost kind of addictive nature of being on stage, is that sense of like immediate feedback, and whilst it's not quite the same in the way it's delivered to you.
I always joke with my chat. I'm like Tinkerbell. I need applause to survive. So, like, as soon as I realized there was instant gratification in one place, I just clung to it, and I got completely unmotivated to make YouTube content once I realized how much more instant streaming was. And my channel grew significantly just because, and I don't give myself enough credit probably, but there wasn't very many streamers on Beam at the time, which became Mixer. So like I grew really, really quickly, and then I plateaued once Mixer got really crazy. But I think that Mixer never made me feel challenged. I felt really complacent over there, and so I wasn't really pushing myself at all. And I've seen so much more growth in myself as a content creator and a person since I've switched from Mixer to Twitch, just because it's a bigger pool, and I feel like I have to step up my game. I feel challenged, and it's exciting for me.
It's kind of brought the art
also
side back into it then, I suppose.
Right. And it's also motivating me to want to put more eggs in more baskets. Like, I want to get back into YouTube. Like, I'm excited to consider that aspect of things again. And I've been working on YouTube stuff, actually. Today I was working on stuff. I actually lost 4 hours of footage and had a little bit of a mental breakdown, but it's okay.
No.
I feel that so much. Oh my
Vivid, how many times did you have to make that Resident Evil 6 review? Have you even finished the Resident Evil 6 review?
I'm on attempt 14. I'm on pass 2. I'm on attempt 14. I have lost a grand total of 2 days worth of work on that one video.
That's awful. It's so awful.
Yeah,
he does so out of practice.
Yeah, so he does gaming reviews,
daily
so
stuff.
It's...
Yeah.
I couldn't do
that's
daily.
a lot.
I couldn't do daily.
You have to get a lot of stuff together for that. Vlogging wasn't easy, but like you could kind of create your own challenges with vlogging, and I did it daily, and that was the challenge. But like,
I think a lot of people
I'm trying
don't give vlogging the credit it deserves. Quite frankly, it's hard to do.
Yeah,
Like,
When it's hard to do it consistently and to put out like consistently quality content. Yeah,
because when we were part of that YouTube group, a lot of the people who were in it, they kind of like downplayed vlogging a lot. But when you do it, you know, there's nothing to hide behind with vlogging.
No,
you know, it's.
I mean, they really downplayed it and made it seem like, oh, it's just. You're just standing there, like, talking about how you went to Taco Bell in front of a camera, but really, like, the vloggers that are successful put so much more into it than just sitting in the car going, oh, I'm going to Taco Bell.
Just one loudmouth one bit. Just Dan, just one loudmouth one. We all the three of us know which one we're talking about.
There was one loudmouth one, and then there was like little like the baby birds on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just
a lot
the
of, like,
constant chirps.
I love and miss Matt, but at the same time,
he's a good dude. But I
love Matt. So we ended up leaving that group that we kind of started in because Echo Drone used to be BitQuest. He was also a part of that same group that we were in. And
he was one of my core mobs as well.
I'm still in the Discord, but it's a ghost town.
I am too, but I don't want to deal with leaving, so I just don't leave it. But he did a lot of stuff like that, and then the way he does things, whenever he starts a new venture, he gives it 2 years, and if it doesn't seem financially profitable after 2 years, then he moves on to something else. So that's why he no longer does content creation anymore. He's kind of moved on from it, and so we were like, well, we were kind of like a thing. We were a group, and if you're going to leave, that kind of leaves us by ourselves. And so that's when the three of us were like, well, look, we always work together. Why don't we just form a group? And so that's kind of how Fireside Entertainment became a thing. Because
here
two
we
of us, Cursed Titan, who's unfortunately asleep, he fell asleep about an hour ago because he promised his fiance that he would go to bed at a normal hour tonight.
Yeah, because he has the literal worst sleep schedule, and I keep telling him, look, I've got to be like the mother, the internet mother here.
I'm gonna send Hannah a strong.
You children.
I'm just gonna say this right now. You know, if you're a UK content creator, sleep something that has to go. You know, if you want to make stuff work.
Yeah,
because all of the people you're going to collab with are in the US.
Yeah, the Vivid sacrifices so much for us. Vivid and Curse both.
He really does.
They sacrifice so much to do stuff with us because, like, I'm always like, oh, I'm available at 7 Eastern, and David's like, that's fucking midnight. Great.
This is like, I run a D&D show, and I'm the only British person, so I run it from 11 p.m. until 4 a.m. every other Saturday because I'm like, well, this is the only way I can do this. But it's, you know, it's worth it for the creative satisfaction.
Exactly.
So.
Meanwhile, I'm an old lady, and I'm like, hell no.
I think being a content creator in general means that you aren't allowed a normal sleep schedule.
Yeah,
period.
You know, you have to, if you make the mistake of telling someone you're off tomorrow, they have you stay up till 7 a.m. playing Among Us.
Exactly.
What sleep?
Yeah,
just kidding. Just kidding, Pop. I'm okay with that.
Naming no names.
I really stopped focusing on YouTube, and I haven't really gotten back into it in the last year. Mostly because, and I know this is probably going to sound, I don't want to sound lazy, because I do put a lot of effort into stuff, but I didn't feel like I was getting any type of gratification. And obviously I don't expect, like, immediate gratification. I don't expect, like, oh, he worked so hard, I'm going to watch his video. No, I know I have to earn it. I know I have to actually get people's eyes on it. But if you've done it
but it takes so many hours, man.
So many hours.
But especially as a one-person team.
And for me,
it's so many hours for so little return.
Yeah,
I would never judge anyone for quitting YouTube ever because it is so much work.
Yeah. Oh, right. And not only that, the platform itself kind of pushes against you a lot of the time. So it's
the platform itself really only benefits people that already have a following.
Right.
Kind of it, or can turn Twitter into a successful venture for it. That's kind of the only way to do it on YouTube now.
At this point, that's how it feels like with most social media platforms, too. Like, I mean, even with Twitch, I felt like the only reason that I was one of the Mixer partners that got partnered was because I had a decent following on YouTube, because I used to do it full time. And then I had a really good following on TikTok and Twitter and Insta. So I think they just put all that together, because out of the people that I see personally, and this is my opinion and I don't have any inside information, but from what I see, the people who got partnered like right away from Mixer to Twitch were people that were known elsewhere, not just on Mixer.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, Twitch kind of does that anyway, because there's a lot of people I know that I have a friend of mine, she goes by OMG on Blurry, and she's like strictly Dead by Daylight. That's basically all she streams. And she has a triple-digit viewer count every single time I watch her. She's not partnered. She's applied and she gets denied every single time.
Interesting.
But that's because she doesn't have an Instagram. She has a YouTube but doesn't do anything with it anymore. And she doesn't focus on Twitter at all. I think she only has like 200 followers on Twitter.
Well, you have to consider Twitch at this point is Amazon, right? And all they really care about when it comes down to it, and this isn't a diss at Twitch or Amazon or anything else, they're looking for business tools, business opportunities, advertisement tools. They want to find people who are going to spread the word of Twitch outside of Twitch.
Yep.
So they aren't gonna care as much about the people who are in Twitch and fully in Twitch unless they're also pulling people outside of Twitch.
That's going sheep.
At least that's what I feel from what I've seen,
Touching upon the transition to Twitch, though, obviously you mentioned that you got partnered over here. I was wondering, how did you find that process? Was that process something that was quick. I mean, at the time we saw.
I feel so imposter syndrome-y, you know, like I'm so grateful, but I didn't have the normal get partnered on Twitch experience. I streamed on Mixer. This is my disclaimer. I streamed on Mixer 3.5 years, 3 years partnered. Before that, I created content on YouTube full-time for 6.5 years. So I've been a content creator for a very long time, and I had big followings on both. I came over to Twitch. I had a lot of friends on Twitch who made sure my welcome was warm, and I only streamed on Twitch for 2 days before I got the email that I got partnered. So I got partnered on my 3rd stream on Twitch. And I know that ruffled a lot of feathers because people said that I didn't deserve it or I didn't work hard enough and blah, blah, blah. But just because they didn't see my work... I was
curious about... that kind of react, because I believe that we had a podcast. Well, I say right after this happened. I think it was a little while after it happened, simply because of scheduling. But we kind of saw that from the outsider's perspective. A lot of the reactions to people, and like just putting it as it is, unnecessary reactions, you know.
And people were very hateful towards me, but they didn't look at my content. They only looked at the tweet. And I'll say that the reaction... They didn't look at
the big picture, I suppose.
The tweet they were replying to, my boyfriend in the clip goes, "Who streams on Twitch for 1 day and gets partnered?" And I knew that was gonna ruffle feathers, but like I didn't make the clip, so I couldn't cut it down. And honestly, like I knew that was gonna ruffle feathers, but he said that to my group of people who are watching me, who know me, who understand me, and they know that I had a really warm welcome and I was really grateful. And not only that, but 7 other Mixer partners also got partnered that day and had only been streaming since Mixer made the announcement. So I wasn't the only one, but because I was the only one who in the tweet it said that, I received all the hate. And
well, we actually...
It was a smart... It was a smart Twitch move. I'm sorry. It was a smart Twitch move to partner a bunch of people from Mixer on Twitch because there were Mixer partners still trying to decide if they wanted to move over to Twitch or Facebook. And so that was a marketing move, if anything.
100%.
100%.
As was the Mixer situation in the first place.
Well, but on that podcast, because that was actually a podcast that we liked. It was like a post, like we were planning on taking a hiatus. And literally the day after, I was moving up here. I moved to Northern Virginia from Newport News.
Was it even a day? Wasn't it like 20 hours?
It was literally the day I go, all right, guys, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm going to get my move. I'm going to move into my new place. I won't be here for 2 weeks. We're taking a hiatus on the podcast. The next freaking day, Mixer goes, by the way, we're shutting down. And I was like, Jesus Christ, we got to do a freaking podcast now. We can't not talk about this.
Yeah, I'm sending messages to Eric. I'm like, Eric, we gotta do this. Everything's collapsing.
It was like,
I hate to be a one-upper, but I was, this is really sad actually. When Mixer announced that they were shutting down, I was saying goodbye to a family member. So I was in funeral mode. And my brother and sister-in-law both worked for Mixer. So we lost a family member, and my parents, all 3 of their kids lost their jobs the same day.
Geez.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was a terrible day.
And was that like when you found out about it?
It was the exact same day, yeah. I said I have in my diary, I said my final goodbyes to my uncle. Mixer has announced that they're shutting down.
So on that podcast, you know, you're talking about undeserved hate and everything. And I hate to be this guy, but I was worried. I was worried about Mixer months ago, and we actually had a podcast a while back when Ninja first moved over to Mixer. We had a podcast and we were talking about, you know, what the big topic that day was. Is this going to really make an impact on Mixer? Is this going to give Mixer longevity? Because
it definitely did.
Everyone flew with him. Everyone flew with him. And it was like, you know, all these streamers were getting bigger, but a lot of the friends that I have on here that moved to Mixer ended up coming back to Twitch. Because like Vivid said, their first 3 or 4 streams were amazing, and then they started getting less numbers than they were on Twitch. And so they were like, well,
there's always the hype.
Yeah, and we're like,
Yeah.
well, this wasn't what I was expecting, which, I mean, I hate to say I could have told you so, but, I mean, it's the same thing as if you just get started and you've never done it before and you turn Twitch on, you know? Like,
Well,
obviously, you know,
I
you have a pre-existing group that came with you.
I have a few things that I've said about this before, but, like, obviously, the people that came over to Mixer to follow Ninja or to follow Shroud are not the kind of people that are gonna watch Mixer streamers.
No.
Exactly.
What they watch the top streamer on Twitch. That's what they've done. And so they want to see the top streamer and how he performs. So once he's done, they're going to go back to Twitch and watch the people they know.
It's the same thing I say about YouTube streamers.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the same thing that we say about whenever some idiot talks about goddamn titty streamers on Twitter. It's like,
Yeah, you're not losing any followers. They're not going to watch you.
No.
yeah,
God, I
watch
hate
you,
that
dude.
argument, man.
Yeah,
said that-
you're not
we've said that
gonna
5
get
times
their
now.
followers.
No one's they're not gonna go from someone like that to someone like me. It's just not you know,
Right.
I
No, I was raided by Ninja towards the end of it. Like in the last month before everything went to shit. Ninja raided me because I was hosting a Animal Crossing tournament. Where I had a bunch of Mixer partners playing. We did like a bug catching, fish catching tournament. Almost, we pretended it was like esports. We commentated it with Mixer staff, and then we gave out money prizes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it was really successful. But like Ninja rated me to 15. Oh, is that wrong? I can't remember. It was like 1,500 people, and I think maybe after 30 minutes of sitting with us, I think maybe only half of them stayed, which is still a lot.
Still a lot, but
But how many of those people were just lurking? Were like they just left their camera on or their computer on, and it. I was never surprised that I never got raided by him or by Shroud before that, because we made different content, right? Like they play BRs and I'm a variety streamer. So it wouldn't have made sense for him to raid someone like me. But yeah, so it's just like Ninja being on Mixer was great for a few reasons, but in my opinion, Mixer should have waited a year. They should have used the money that they paid Ninja and Shroud to hire more engineers to fix their fucking website.
Yeah.
So that the
that's
website didn't break.
That's why I didn't move to it.
Right.
That
Like,
was
the
mostly
website
our
didn't
biggest
break.
problem with it.
Yeah, that's
Everyone's problem with it. Like, honestly, I've made this point before, and I hate to say it, but I felt kind of at a stalemate, like almost trapped on Mixer, because I had family members that worked there. Everybody that I knew would call me like the little sister of Mixer. Like I was friends with everyone on the staff, and it would have been like, imagine if their front-facing producer had a sister who was a partnered streamer, and she went over to Twitch. Think of how bad that would make all of Mixer look.
Oh, for
and
sure.
how bad it would make my brother look.
Locked in at that point.
But so my biggest issue, and believe me, streamers were trying to tell Mixer to make these changes happen. We were trying to get Mixer staff to make it happen. And the funny thing is, Mixer staff was trying to make these things happen too. It wasn't Mixer. It was Microsoft. They didn't give them enough manpower to make anything happen. And they had the money to do so, but they used the money on big streamers.
Yeah, I'm thinking that you could,
that's
like...
the thing we said a lot is, and we said this whenever Microsoft did a stream or Xbox did a stream, we were like, why isn't this exclusive to Mixer?
Well, it's not just that. It's like, where's the Mixer
You don't
broadcast?
advertise your Mixer stream. It's not exclusive to Mixer.
That's because they truly never believed in us.
Yeah. And
they never believed in Mixer.
I think nothing proves that more than the fact that they did the Facebook deal just so they could push xCloud. That's they've openly admitted that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mixer had such a weird life cycle. Like from Microsoft purchasing Beam, obviously they believed in Beam enough to spend the money to purchase it and go, hey, we feel like this platform can go somewhere. And then it's like they just gave up. Like they just were like, well, now we have it. That's cool. All right, so what's next?
Yeah.
And then
The
they just
hardest
gave up.
thing was knowing how much Mixer staff, at least the front-facing Mixer staff, truly believed in Mixer, and like how much they would pitch to Microsoft and how much they would try to make happen. And it was just odd. And the only reason I know this is because some Mixer staff members were tweeting about it after the fact, because they were just as frustrated as we were, because they didn't know about the shutdown until
I saw a lot about that. A bunch of staff members that I followed just through following industry people. A bunch of them being like, "What the hell?" You know?
Yeah.
But at the
it's
same
almost like getting the rug taken up underneath you.
The hardest thing is that, like you said, you were worried about Mixer early. I can't pretend like I was never... Like, I was always worried. I always knew it was a possibility. I knew Mixer was a Kickstarter, and I knew Microsoft was a corporate company, and we were just a number. And I think that... I remember the day I found out that Ninja switched over, I had this pit in my stomach, because a few months before that, a bunch of employees were let go. Like, a lot of my close friends were let go. And I was like,
I remember all those layoffs.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is why.
They
They
were
needed the money to
reallocating
get
money.
Ninja to come over, and they just killed our website.
It's
I just knew it.
It's
Hurts.
a similar thing. I mentioned it when I was covering the Gamescom going on. Ford announced their brand new gaming initiative, the car company, and they were like, "We're making a gamer car," and I was like, "They've announced this gamer car under a month from when 2,000 people are losing their jobs here in the UK. My dad being one of them." You know, it's like, it's this.
Yep, it's like a reallocation of the funds to go somewhere else, thinking that, oh, this is gonna help us out. You're laid off now, but if this works out, we can hire you again and give you even higher pay raises. Think of that.
And it just kind of shows like that, regardless of the amount of good deeds that a company can do, at the end of the day, they are still a company, and there are going to be these situations. Like I've done it on this podcast. I talk a lot of praise about Microsoft in terms of their the way they treat their customers these days, in terms of their like gaming initiatives and stuff. They seem to be pushing a lot of value, but then you see something like that, and it's like, this is a corporate decision where they have not taken into account any of the people that are affected by it. So it's like,
well, you guys saw how long it took them to even make a message about Black Lives Matter. And a lot of people were upset about that. And to be honest, like, all the Mixer staff that I followed on Twitter, they were using their own accounts to talk about Black Lives Matter, because it was clear that they didn't have the right of way or the the allowance to put it on the Mixer site, on the Mixer Twitter. And that's because of corporate reasons. When you work under this big corporate, you have to go through all these channels before you can get things like that approved. Otherwise, whoever runs their Twitter loses their job. So it sucks. It sucks. And I like I said, I wasn't completely blindsided. Just the timing was the worst fucking thing in the world. I had just gotten a house too. My boyfriend and I just moved into a house. Like, we were finally like doing well enough. Timing than that. So it's just bad.
But I do want to double back for a second and talk about something, because you're talking about like all the hate people are giving you. And we even on this podcast had absolutely no issues with the Mixer partners. Because in my opinion, I can understand how some people can say, oh, well, they haven't done it on Twitch. Doing it on Mixer is different than doing it on Twitch. I don't believe that. Because the way I always looked at content creation in general was, no matter where you have your audience, no matter where you make your content, if the content is good enough to get recognized in one place, it should be respected, and should be respected across the board. And so when they were coming up with all these, oh, well, this, all these mixed partners, we're getting partnered, I was on the group that was celebrating it. Because these people, like, really cool. the rug got jerked out from underneath them. These are people that put in hours of time. They built these communities. They built these careers. I mean, it's the least Twitch can do, because A, publicity. Let's be honest, and B, it's the right thing to do in general.
Yeah, and like,
y'all earned it.
I received a lot of hate, and it was mostly on that one tweet. And since then, I have received all the hate was from non-partners, non-Twitch partners, people who were upset because they
complain about everything.
They want to be partnered, you know.
And we know.
Like I said in my tweet, I do understand the frustration. I do understand the frustration of seeing somebody who, from your eyes, hasn't done the grind that you have. And I totally see that side of things, and that's why I felt so bad. Because, like, I knew I'd worked so hard, but I know that so many people, like you said, you have a friend who has 3-digit numbers every stream, and they aren't partnered. Like, I don't see how that's fair. I think that's upsetting. But, like, at the same time, I was partnered for 3 years on Mixer, and I was partnered for 4 years on YouTube. And everybody's journey is different. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Everybody has their own journey.
Yeah, for real.
As far as I'm concerned, 7 years being, as far as I'm concerned, a professional in the industry, you know, it's like standard. It's almost like, you know, you don't get mad at, you know, did y'all get mad at Logic when Logic was partnered as soon as he made a Twitch account? I mean, obviously it's a much grander scale. Logic's a multi-million-dollar artist, but it's the same thing. He had an audience from somewhere else. It was not Twitch.
A friend of mine who replied to my tweet is a member of Smosh, and he was like, no, I got partnered as soon as I came to Twitch, and people were upset about that too. And it's like, well, obviously he got partnered. He has followers that are going to follow him from YouTube to Twitch. And I had over 1,000 viewers in my second stream. So isn't that enough proof that I'm going to have people follow me?
Exactly. Here? I mean, I don't know if y'all watch the WWE at all, but you have a lot of, which that's a whole other can of worms, Vivid. We got to talk about that next week on the podcast, because we're already going to talk about the WWE next week.
Oh boy.
Vince McMahon's a piece of shit. But
he's a real piece of shit.
We're gonna table that till next week. That we're gonna add that to next week's podcast, because he's a piece of shit. But the WWE streamers, well, at least they can't anymore. Again, but the WWE streamers, they're almost every single one of them is partnered on Twitch if they have a Twitch account, whether they use their actual wrestling names or not. As soon as Twitch realizes, okay, this is an athlete, or this is WWE, you know, well, Bonnie, he's done something else shady, but. As soon as they realize that these are
something relatable to this, shady.
Yeah, and so, they're all partnered as soon as they make a Twitch account. They email Twitch and say, "Hey, I am Becky Lynch from the WWE, partnered. I am Paige from WWE, partnered immediately." They never streamed. They were partnered immediately before they went live. They can start making money on Twitch, or I guess in a sense make money for Twitch. That's also kind of how it goes too.
Ashley makes a great point here. It's kind of like, you know. Look, if you feel like you're screwed out of a partnership by Twitch, that's on Twitch and you. That's not the fault of a Mixer partner coming over here. You know, they're just trying to do their thing.
People are attacking me for something that wasn't my fault.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Twitch is who makes the final decision on who gets partnered.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, all the streamer does is put out their best effort, and if that's been on other platforms beforehand, and Twitch staff can see that and say, "Wow, look how well they did over on Mixer. Yeah, sure, let's partner them." At the end of the day, that comes down to Twitch's decision, and that's not on the streamer.
And it's just like, look, if you know, just because Mixer's gone, that doesn't mean the 2 or 3 years of hard work is gone. You know, that doesn't just get erased. That still exists. You know, that still has its impact.
Compared it to like being like the manager at a company, and then the company goes down, but you get hired as a manager at a new company.
Yeah.
Then like, you know, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I put in the same amount of work somewhere else, doing the same kind of thing. I don't know. At this point, I'm grateful that I was one of the lucky people who got partnered, and I'm just rooting for my friends who I think still deserve it. And I'm just trying to carry on the momentum that I have. You know what I'm saying?
No, and you're doing an amazing job.
Just
at it
grateful.
Too, I will say this. I love hanging out in your streams, because there's always a lot of charm. The chat's always fantastic. You've definitely grown in a very friendly community, and I enjoy hanging out with everyone.
That makes me really happy. That's all I wanted.
I haven't had a chance to stop by yet. I keep meaning to.
Yeah,
Well, it's okay. All I want is for, like, when new people come in, they feel welcome. That's all I want. I just want it to be comfy.
How many how are yous do you get per stream?
I was gonna say, I love the how are you. Every time somebody comes into my chat and they ask me how I'm doing, I'm like, thank you for asking about me. Thank you.
Right? Like, we spend so much time asking everybody who comes in, hey, how are you? How's it going? Like, where's the love for us?
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. We're people too.
Asks, when is Leppely? Nobody ever asks, how is Leppely?
Where is
You
Leppely?
saying
She's
that was
late
that
again.
picture is...
Oh,
She's late again.
I'll do you one more. Why is Leppely?
And there's those that definitely ask the why is Leppely, and I've definitely had some streams where people are probably like, what is Leppely?
You know,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about having guests on this podcast and is hearing people. That's okay. Is hearing other people's journey on how they got there. You know, I love hearing about, like, you know, this person, you know, started because they wanted to do theater, right? They wanted to act, and streaming is a great way to do that because it's live, it's structured, it's raw. That's why I love it. You know, then you have people that, you know, they did YouTube because, you know, it was an outlet for them and it was a creative thing. You have people that did create content because they wanted to entertain people, or you have people that like Vivid that is a journalist and wants to do gaming journalism and reviews professionally, and so that's what he uses the YouTube and the streaming for. I love hearing about people's journeys, you know, and that's my favorite thing about being a content creator, and that's why. You know, that's kind of the brand that I've designed when it goes like Twitter and stuff like that. Is I want to make friends. You know, I love talking to people.
Totally.
I love getting to know. I mean, you know, me and Pop Six Squish are like best friends now, and it's all it took was 7 a.m. Among Us stream. You know, so it's always been my favorite thing about content creation is just interacting, collaborations, and one of the biggest things that I've always figured. This is something that also I wanted to talk about. I guess I wanted to start with G4. I guess we'll do G4 at the end here. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the perspective of affiliate versus partner. Now, obviously, you didn't have the perspective change between affiliate versus partner as far as Twitch is concerned, but you did have it as far as YouTube and Mixer was concerned. And so, the biggest thing that I've always seen, and you know, we talked a lot about, I think it was last week when we were talking, or a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how that check mark on Twitch creates this sort of celebrity status, whether you want it or not. It kind of creates this celebrity status to a degree.
That was definitely a recent conversation we've had.
I believe it was 2 podcasts ago.
It was something like that.
Yeah, and we were talking about how that check mark kind of creates this celebrity status that I feel like a lot of affiliates want to get to, and they don't want to put in the effort to get there, right? And then it's also from a lot of people, and I think this is why a lot of those people gave you hate before. We're really great at wrapping things around, by the way. But I feel like a lot of those people that gave you hate at that was probably people that were like, well, I'm putting in effort. Why don't I have my check mark? You know? And, you know, it's a mentality difference. Because I do see it all the time. I feel like a lot of times there's a lot more behind-the-scenes work that an affiliate has to do to get it noticed, to get his name out or her name out there, to get their name out there, to develop a community even, because there's a lot of people out there. It is a saturated market, but I always see a little bit of this sort of ease, if you will, from a partner being able to promote themselves. It's almost like, I don't want to say that you don't want to put in as much effort, but the checkmark kind of does a little bit of work for you. Have you ever noticed anything like that?
Definitely in a way. I mean, the problem was before I was moved over to Twitch, I didn't spend a lot of time on Twitch. So I didn't have a lot of experience being a non-chat mark in chats, which has actually given me a other weird perspective where now I'm terrified to go into people's chats because it'll be my first time in someone's chat and I have a check mark. You know, like, I wish I could be one of those people that was like, knew some streamers and then one day I show up with a check mark. You know, so it doesn't look like I'm trying to self-promote by myself. It just looks like, oh, hey, guess what? It happened to me, but, like, I still am here for you kind of thing. But the check mark
The
makes people
stigma around
notice you
check
right
mark
away.
is crazy.
And I want to say one thing about that is that I have only ever had one outwardly negative experience talking in someone's chat with a check mark. And it was a younger streamer, and it was, and I'm never gonna call out this person because honestly, I think in a few years they'll understand what they did and they won't do it again. You know what I mean? We all live and we learn and we grow.
They made us so a check mark won't ever come back in their stream. That's one thing.
Right. I mean, and they were a partner too. That's the thing. They were a partner streamer on Twitch, but they're young and they're newly big. And I honestly was a fan of their work. I'd been in their stuff, like in their streams before. I hadn't talked before. I've seen their content elsewhere. And I wanted to support them. And I said something in their chat and they were negative about it. And then their chat got negative towards me because that's what happens in streamers' chats. Chats will, you know, kind of agree with the streamer. Chats will, if a streamer attacks a troll, then chats will also attack a troll. And it was like kind of like mob mentality. Everybody was just kind of being mean to me, and I was like, oh shit, I'm being bullied by a kid. And I was like, okay, this sucks, I don't like this. But something really good came out of that experience. I kind of vented about it on Twitter. I honestly had a big cry. I had a big girl cry. I was like, I got my feelings hurt. And I tweeted
gotta
about
have
it.
that big girl cry.
Yeah, exactly. And I tweeted, I was like, hey guys, I just want to make it known that I got partnered really quickly, but I still want to make friends on Twitch without you guys feeling like you need to promote me. You know, like, can I just come in your chat and make friends with people to play video games with? I tweeted that out, and because of that tweet also kind of went semi-viral. Because of that tweet, I have met all of my closest Twitch friends that I am currently friends with now. And I'm on a stream team because of it. And wait, what?
Did we discuss that tweet, or did we discuss a different tweet around the same topic?
Which one was it again?
I think we discussed, a different tweet around that same time.
My apology was just like getting flashbacks to a different podcast that
I definitely I was
a
like,
very similar tweet, and you're describing it, and I'm like, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
I had those same flashbacks.
I feel like a lot of people were tweeting the same thing I tweeted after I tweeted it. Because
that's kind of how the chamber of Twitter works, streamer Twitter works, you know. One person complains and everyone complains.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter how I use it.
And that's another thing, is I never wanted to be the person who would tweet stuff like that, but I was genuinely kind of venting. But because of that tweet, I have really close, amazing Twitch friends. I'm a part of a stream team now already, and I have people that I'm constantly playing games with. My whole next week is booked up with people to play games with. My last week was booked up, and it just feels, I don't know. So like I am grateful that one Twitch partner shit on me for having a badge.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, because I'm kind of going through my own thing, because the part of the reason you're here is a tweet that I made, because I was like, you know, I feel like we were bringing the podcast back, and I was like, there's so many people that I want to DM. There's so many people I want on this show. There's so many people I want to talk to, and I'm terrified that because I'm not at a level where it's a lot of views, I'm terrified that it's going to be viewed as not worth their time. So, like, you know, I'm sure you know who Green Dumpling, or he doesn't go by Green Dumpling, but Seti or not. He follows me on Twitter. I would love for Seti to be on this show. We've all agreed we will change the time and day to fit him over in Malaysia.
Absolutely.
To get Seti on this show. You know, but I'm terrified of DMing him. I met Bloody Faster at PAX South, and I went out drinking with her and Lobos and Loco. I would love to have Bloody Faster on this show. She's one of my favorite streamers. It was literally, no offense to you, Leppely, because I know it was our first time meeting in person too, but it might have been the highlight of my weekend meeting Bloody Faster. Leppely's a high 1B. But meeting the reason I'm a content creator in general, before YouTube, before Twitch, we would have never met each other if it wasn't for me watching Bloody Faster. It just wouldn't have happened. Yeah. So I would love
I think
to have Bloody on this show.
What I am experiencing now that I am feeling validated and I'm meeting more people and blah 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 is honestly it just comes down to schedules. Like at this point, you know, we were gonna do this podcast yesterday and then I had to move it because I had a group of 10 streamers who wanted to play Among Us, and obviously the 10 streamers have to take precedent because I had already committed to doing that with them and blah blah blah. But basically what I'm saying is it's not necessarily your guys's smaller quote unquote following. It's well, I mean, maybe that matters to some people.
No,
the people that I've made friends
people,
with, the people that I've made friends with, like the whole Neat Dude community, which is who I'm now a stream team with, they don't give a shit about how many numbers you have. Everybody is a fucking family. And like, as far as I'm concerned, if I can fit you in, I'm down as long as the experience is pleasant. Like, as long as we vibe, I don't care.
100%.
But like at the same time, we do have to take those moments that could boost our career. Like, I don't know if you guys know Frisk, but she's a pretty well-known Dead by Daylight streamer, and she's a friend of mine who I met through a friend, and she's kind of brought me under her wing during the switchover. And I was in her stream before she was doing a Twitch tournament, and one of her teammates was having internet issues, and so she DM'd me and she's like, hey, there's a possibility my teammate might have to drop out because of internet issues. Can you be on standby? And I had plans that day with another fellow streamer friend who my community knows really well and who is like, you know, same level as me, whatever. And I DM'd that friend and I was like, hey, would you be offended if I did this thing over our thing? And my friend understood. She's like, no, this is a smart career move. If you can get on this thing, whatever. But it ended up not happening because I was on standby. And then I ended up doing my thing with my friend who I was supposed to be doing stuff with to begin with. So it's kind of a balance act of sometimes you have to prioritize things, but it's also, it shows character in streamers who are willing to work with people who are smaller or, you know, blah blah blah. I don't know. I think it's just great to make internet friends, and if an internet friend is working on something that's important to them, if you have the time to, I think you should help.
Absolutely.
So,
and I feel
that's
like,
why
you know,
I'm doing it.
I totally agree.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here, by the way. But I also feel like, you know, for me, and we've actually had this conversation on the podcast before, I've had it in private with some of my friends, when it comes right down to it, as a streamer, you are trying to grow. You are trying to do something to establish yourself and make this into a career. That's why we all do it, whether you all want to admit it or not. We might not all do it for monetary reasons. We might just want to entertain people. And some people might be satisfied with entertaining one or two people, and that might be all. That might be exactly what they want, because that's still important. Changing one person's life is important. That's how I've always approached this. But in the end, if you have the opportunity to grow, that's what you want to do. If you have the opportunity to put yourself in front of other eyes, that's what you want to do. XD Killjoy is my brother. He had an opportunity to be on the Respawn official Respawn Twitch page. He streamed in front of 1,000 freaking people on the Respawn Twitch page for a charity stream.
Leppely
he got
was,
that opportunity
on the front page.
Yeah, Lep was on the front page of Twitch
cool.
for Britain. For the UK for a charity stream. Like, these are opportunities that, you know what, you see them as like, they might not say yes, but the least you can do is ask. And, you know, like, you know, you popped in, you're like, I don't care, let me on. Like, it was, you know, that's why we do. But at the same time,
and we still had to schedule it far in advance because I was booked up, but I still wanted to be a part of it.
But you're also a professional, so I knew that was going to be the case.
So,
I appreciate that.
Obviously, you know, a lot of the discussion we've been having here is about how you've gone from one thing to another thing, and now to Twitch, you went from YouTube to Mixer to Twitch, and the changes going between that. So I was curious to know, and just to kind of wrap it into the final topic that we wanted to discuss here tonight, the return of G4. I was wondering, what's kind of some of the things that you're looking to do next, I suppose? What's kind of next on your agenda in terms of your creative output?
Well, it's always been my dream to be on the screen. Like television, movies, film, or even just my voice acting. I was a voice actress when I was 9 years old on Strawberry Shortcake for 2 episodes, and that, when I was a kid, that was the coolest thing I'd ever done in my entire life, and I haven't not wanted to do that. Like, I've always wanted to do that since. But I don't have a repertoire for that. Luckily, Mixer took care of me with the whole hosting thing. I told Mixer early on I wanted to be a host one day. I was kind of trying to get in with Mixer staff, and maybe I could be on their shows and blah, blah, blah. And every convention, they would ask me to do interviews for them, do hosting stuff for them, blah, blah, blah. So I have a reel, and I have been auditioning around desperately trying to become a host for something big and exciting. And G4 is rebooting, and they had that Twitter, I guess it was on Reddit, actually.
Yes.
And then they tweeted it, and so I kind of put I shot my shot, hoping that they would notice me. But yeah, when I was a kid, I used to watch G4. And before G4, I didn't know it was okay for a girl to play video games and like comic books. And I watched G4 in awe, seeing beautiful women who were funny and strong and intelligent, who were also nerdy as hell like me. And I was like, I want to be like them. I want to be a role model for younger women who also want to be nerdy and, you know, be into video games and Lord of the Rings and comic books and all of that shit. So when I saw that opportunity, I had to hop on it. So fingers crossed. We'll see.
No, I actually had a friend of mine that Jasmine Pop, if you're in chat, who DM'd me. She goes, "So are you gonna put your name in that G4 hunt?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "Why not?" And I was like, "Because I don't have the credentials for that." I was like, "Have you seen the people going for that stuff?" It's like I got someone coming on my show tomorrow that's trying to put their credentials into the hat. I was like, I don't have the credentials to be with that. And she goes, "Did you not watch the video? There are no requirements." And I was like,
There
no,
isn't.
I'll be honest, I
You just
didn't,
have to
because
be above 18.
yeah, I was like, no,
And
I
in
didn't.
the US, unfortunately.
The only
But, you know,
two requirements.
Feels bad, man.
You know, it's like I've always wanted to. I love talking to people, sometimes to a fault, and
Yeah.
you know, I love talking to people. I love talking about things I'm passionate about, which is why I love doing this podcast. And it's always been my dream to educate people, and my favorite thing is diving into lore of video games, diving into these worlds that people create. And so I actually didn't grow up watching G4, just because it wasn't one of the channels that we had, you know, typical growing up poor situation. And so by the time I finally was able to watch G4 is when it left. And I feel like our generation now is the generation of gamers. People that are in their late teens to, well, I mean, obviously everyone that's a kid now plays games, but everyone from like late teens to early 30s are the age of gamers, in my opinion, right? They're all the streamers. They're all the main people running the industry. That's why the industry is booming right now, is because, you know, not many people have parents like me that play video games religiously in their 40s and 50s, you know? So
Right.
It's not as common for people in their 40s to play video games. It's our generation. So when G4 was going up, that was for my parents, and G4 didn't have a stand. Like, it didn't have the potential that it has now. And
No,
so
there wasn't a big community for it yet.
no, now it's like you mentioned G4, and it's like we're all like, it's like, you know, it's like Witcher just dropped 8 seasons all at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's super excited for it. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
Netflix, if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead and do that. But I'm so excited for it. I would love to participate in it at some point.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at my confidence on it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually gonna like do it.
I don't know if I would have shot my shot had I not had the experience of going through the job applications elsewhere. 2 years back, a kind of famous host who I followed on Twitter, DM me, and she was like, "Hey, I know that you're an aspiring host. I have this job opportunity, and I put your name in. Are you interested?" And I fucking died. Didn't even know she knew who I was.
Should
And
I
I was
put
like,
that in my
absolutely.
Twitter bio?
Yeah, put it in your Twitter bio. That's what I do.
That's the way to go, because that's the first thing they look at.
Mm-hmm.
I have the third artifact in my bio. That might be going away.
I put my application in and blah blah blah, and I actually made it through a bunch of cuts and ended up, as far as, I mean, they basically told me it was between me and the girl who actually ended up getting the job. And because I had all that, I had no confidence to do that interview. I told my boyfriend, I was like, if I get this job, I have to move to California and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, we'll do it. If you get this job, we'll move to California. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you are overqualified. You keep telling yourself you're underqualified, but you are overqualified. And at that point, I was just like, fuck it, I'm overqualified. And I just kept telling myself that. So if you, Nomad, you said you're a minor, you minored in drama?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Major in marine biology, minor in theater.
You did theater. You know how to improvise. You know how to entertain. You have a podcast. You are a streamer. You create content. You know how that shit works. You tick all the boxes. So if you just shut the fuck up in your brain and tell your brain to stop telling you to say these things, you tick the boxes.
These two have been telling me that
it
for
really is
2.5 years now.
really just a confidence thing.
We tell him that all the time. It hasn't gotten through that skull yet, so.
Not yet. It'll get there one day.
Well,
But no, I'm super
get
excited.
there.
I'm super excited for G4 to come back. Hey, Bonna does it all the time too, as well. But I'm super excited for G4 to come back.
That's sweet American citizenship, apparently, because that's the one thing stopping me from applying to all of these.
We have both told you, Vivid. If you need a place, we will get you a place, my friend.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is get
They
over
will
here.
help out.
I wear my
gotta,
American shoes.
You gotta
so they'll never
marry a
know.
nice American lady.
Excuse
me.
We can try to help you out with that. But chances, yeah, we'll work on things. We'll work on things.
Very-
I think doesn't that depend on the state? That's a risky game over there, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a tough choice, a risky game.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Definitely don't do that in Texas.
Yeah, don't worry about coming here if you're gonna go that route.
Oh,
Well, that's
Lord
what
have
every
mercy.
streamer is.
I
They're
think
all in
talent
Texas,
shines through.
apparently.
People know quality talent
True.
production when they see it. You got to do that. I agree with
Austin
you,
is different. Austin isn't Texas. It doesn't count.
Thank you, Justin, for that. By the way.
You'd actually be safe to do that in Austin. If we're
No,
being
for
honest.
sure.
Yeah, but no, it's for me, I'm really excited for the thing, and the thing with G4 just coming back. Did you ever? Are you familiar with Meg Cayley?
I've heard the name before.
She used to be on GameStop TV, and now she's a big streamer as well. I met her at PAX South too.
Yes.
Yeah,
I follow her on Twitter actually.
Yeah. My biggest regret about PAX South is not talking to her more about it, because I met her when I met Bloody and
so many good people that they let go.
so many. And so did
So many they just let.
wasn't
Like Danny O'Dwyer.
Yeah, like there was so many really let go, and then again, GameStop's going downhill anyway, so maybe it was kind of their gain. But there's so many amazing people. I love watching the GameStop TV shows. I want to research more into G4 what they used to do, but I feel like there's so much potential there for so many different people to get involved. I think there's a million people they could go for, but I would love to see people like you, Brandon TV.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one.
Brandon.
he's another one that I think could do pretty well on the G4 show too.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
he's got potential.
And kind of wrapping this all back around, because we're really good at that, I feel like the main benefit to Twitch over Mixer anyway. Now, I don't know if it'd be over YouTube, because again, if you have a big enough audience, YouTube can be extremely beneficial for you, but the biggest benefit to Twitch over Mixer, I think, is the fact that you have more opportunities with Twitch backing behind you versus Mixer backing behind you.
More companies already take me more seriously being a Twitch partner than being a Mixer partner. I've noticed that exponentially. So honestly, at this point, it's just me reaching out to people and trying to get the right people on my side. I mean, that G4 tweet did really well, and it's still doing well. I was on the top of the G4 hashtag on Twitter for like a whole day, so that was cool. I don't know. I'm just hoping that Like, honestly, I'm not gushing because I don't want to get my hopes up, but, like, G4 is my dream job, period.
Absolutely. No, I
period.
I completely agree with that one. I would 100% do it. But yeah, so, I know tonight was supposed to be your night off. So, as much as I would love to keep talking to you for another hour and a half, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I also know you're dealing with the allergy stuff and stuff like that as well. Same for that.
I just started sneezing, so I'm getting it bad right now.
So, yes, we're gonna get that hashtag trending right there that Pop just tweeted. Pop just put in there. That's what we're gonna get going on tonight.
We'll get started on that right now.
And if y'all guys want to get hashtag Eric put in the goddamn application, that might also get trending as well. But
we're still working on.
If you guys do. That hashtag, put this with it, because they're only looking at tweets with that hashtag in it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Saying.
Got you. Low-key plug there, and we will do it. So, we always wrap this stuff up with some closing thoughts here.
Yes.
Usually we go around the room, talk about what we're going to do this week and stuff like that. I know you said you have a busy schedule coming up, so what exactly do you have coming up this week, Kooly, if anyone in chat that wants to watch you?
I'm so excited. So tomorrow, my close friend Mziety, who was a Mixer partner, now Twitch partner, she's going to be on the front page of Twitch, raising money for suicide awareness, and I'm going to be on her stream talking about reasons why you should stay and why you shouldn't consider, suicide and stuff like that. Tuesday, I will be playing games with video game Violet. We're going to be playing Dead by Daylight, and then Among Us all the rest of the week. So please make sure you guys follow me, because we're going to have a really lovely, lovely week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, by all means. She's commented in the chat, guys, so you can always follow her Twitch right there, KoolySmiley. I don't know who said Kooly Smiles earlier. That was weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, weird. How did that even happen?
I'll be 100% honest here. When we were starting this, I was telling them I was really nervous because, again, just being honest here, you're probably one of the larger creators that we've had on the show. And I was really nervous about that at first because we had interacted on Twitter, but generally I don't want to say I vet people before I bring them on here. But I usually put people on here that I'm already friends with, that I already know I have chemistry with, that I know we can carry a conversation. And usually we pick people that, either we like I told you on Twitter, we either cater the topics towards the host, depending on who it is, or we have topics we want to talk about, and we go find people that we think will add to those topics, right? So this was the first time that I haven't, obviously we cater the topics towards you because we really wanted a Mixer partner because of our past conversations about Mixer. But this has been a lot of fun, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy you came on here. I know, like I said, you took night off to come out here and do this.
Yeah, but I'm grateful for this opportunity. It was really a lovely chat, and you guys are great. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It honestly means a lot to hear you say that because this is a podcast that I'm really proud of. It's a show that I'm really proud of. If I do want to plug ourselves here, if any of you guys are in chat are new, if one of y'all could do !Discord, we do have Fireside Entertainment is a group that we've created. There is no self-promotion in there. It is a group that we created for content creators to intermingle and come to. Oh wait, you know what? I don't think that Discord works. So one of you
liar.
Oh, is it Fireside? Oh, okay. Look,
this debate.
I've been lied to.
I'm sitting here trying to be. You both stress me out so damn much. All right, let me. Okay, can someone go into Discord and get the right link then?
I just made an infinite link.
Thanks.
Here's some links.
God, thank you.
These ones don't expire. Just
why we ask this question every week. Why the fuck do I host this podcast? Why? So the only reason we host this podcast on my channel was because I was the one that kind of came up with the idea, and I just can't do anything myself, so I needed help. No, but Fireside Entertainment's a group that we came up with. Our intention is to make it a group for content creators in general, not just streamers, but musicians, artists, viewers, streamers, YouTubers, what have you, to come in the group, to come in the Discord, intermingle, talk, communicate. There's no self-promotion channel. We don't have a self-promotion channel. We don't promote ourselves in that channel, with the exception of Fireside Entertainment Productions, such as this one. Leppely does Friday Night Fall Guys, and Vivid does his D&D session once every other week. Those are the only things we promote because it is a Fireside Entertainment production, if you will.
Yeah, it's a community thing.
It's a community thing. So generally, we don't promote ourselves in there. So by all means, if anyone is interested in coming in there and hanging out with us, that's usually where you can find us. And obviously, if you're interested in watching someone, you can always ask them for their link. That's kind of how we designed it. And it's a great group. We love it. We eventually want to do a lot of bigger stuff with it, such as a stream team with it, as soon as one of us three get that fancy check mark that is required in order to make a stream team.
Someday, living the dream.
That is one of the benefits of it. You can actually make one. It is something that we want to make eventually, which is obviously one of us has to get there. But like I said, it means a whole lot for you to be here, Kooly, because if you just say that you've enjoyed your time here, that's the biggest thing for me.
I hope you guys have so much success in your future.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
And of course, if you have a spot open for anything that you have planned, please don't forget me.
I'm looking for people to play Among Us with in the future, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do that. But
I stayed up till 7 a.m. playing it, so I have absolutely no problems playing it again. And Among Us is one of the weird games that never gets boring. For some odd reason. Yeah. And if you have
one thing I was thinking about is one thing that's really stressful as the streamer is having viewers play games with you, because sometimes if you have them all in voice chat, they all are so excited to be in there, everybody's talking all over you, and it can get really stressful. But Among Us makes that really important that they can't, and there's only one time that they can, and you don't have to be like, hey guys, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to be muted during specific sections, so it makes it like totally accessible to have specific viewers in your games that you can't always play with. So I'm open to a lot right now, because Among Us has been way too fun.
No, by all means, right now I get off at 5 p.m. during the week, and then I'm also free on Saturdays and Sundays, so by all means, if you have spots available, I am 100% down.
I'll let you guys know.
I will flat out adjust my entire schedule. No problems. Matter of fact, I'm actually canceling plans possibly tomorrow so I can be with Pop 6 Squish when she does her thing tomorrow. Yes, I'm canceling plans to you, Ashley, so next time you say I'm ungrateful, keep that in mind. By the way, guys, I do want to say Pops the Squish is also another amazing creator. Kooly, I think you two would get along really well too. Just throwing that out there.
Yes. I can tell just by her name. So
yes, she'll talk about me. She's also a very frequent guest here on the podcast too. But as for Leppely, what do you have going on this week? Anything outside of your typical Monday night marbles?
No, not this week in particular.
Unless we do Fall Guys Fridays again.
Yeah. Wait, what is this? Yes, this Friday. Yes to Fall Guys Friday. Next Friday, no, because I have a surprise coming up. But yeah, other than that, just Monday Night Marbs at 8 o'clock Central tomorrow, as usual.
Have you been keeping a surprise from us?
It's a work in progress. I'm sorting it out.
I'm almost offended.
It's a Marvel tournament.
Oh, well, never mind. I'm not offended anymore. Vivid, what do you have going
on? So Resident Evil 6 is coming up this week.
Hopefully.
It's the furthest I've gotten. At 10:14, I've made it to the second stage of editing. So that's nice. Let's see. Other than that, I'm going to be doing a few streams if my internet lets me. The tests that I've been doing have been good. Like, I can play games again online, so that's nice, and I can do this, which is also nice. So I might be able to stream some video games, probably some spell break. I imagine someone's going to rope me into Fall Guys at some point during the week.
We always do. Or spell break, because I'm addicted to that game too.
Yeah, and I do need to get footage for that game, so I can make a quick video on it. I've also been playing Crusader Kings free off stream, just because that game is way better than the last one. I actually like this one, so that's nice. But yes, aside from that, not a whole lot. I'm trying out a new schedule, a production schedule. I've been looking at some tips. So with Skillshare, not a sponsor, sadly. But yeah.
That's the other benefit of the nice check mark is sponsorship.
Hopefully we can get some more content flowing out in a nice orderly fashion. Also, the next time we do one of these, we might have a new overlay. Hopefully.
Please fix this. Please fix this. You're my only hope.
Because I've had like 4 of them in the works for a while.
I like this overlay, but we've had it for a year and a half.
We need a new one.
For a year. Yeah.
So hopefully we can get a brand new one in.
Absolutely.
A nice cleaner one.
Yes.
I'm gonna see what I can do. Perfect.
So as for me, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday during the week. Right now, we'll be going back to work. Right now, I stream from 7 to around 11 or so. Eventually, I'm going to be changing my schedule to go later, as I mentioned on my stream the other day. Once I finish training, my schedule flips to a disgusting 12:45 to 9. So I'm going to be going live at 10 o'clock, more than likely while eating dinner, and going from 10 to 2. So my schedule is obviously going to shift to a bit later in about a week or two. I will be tomorrow. I will be probably with Pop Six Squish over on her doing some her. Which if you're going to allow me to stream that, by the way, Ashley, would be great. And have a good night. Probably be doing that with her tomorrow afternoon for the holiday. Outside of that, I'll be live Wednesday and Friday. I'm obviously trying to finish Trails of Cold Steel 2. By the way, guys, I don't just do podcasts. I do JRPGs, RPGs, and multiplayer games. Probably trying to finish Trails of Cold Steel 2. It's a JRPG I'm trying to finish. My friends are also pestering me to finish Last of Us 2, even though I'm not crazy about the game. Regardless, I do want to get through it because I beat the first one. So that's my plan. I know, Bono, that's going to be way too late for you, but I will be doing day streams on the weekends. You can still come to those. So I'll be doing streams Saturday, and then obviously I do a Sunday pre-show. Exactly what I'll be streaming changes every week. Right now, it's probably going to be Spellbreak because I'm addicted to it. I might not even get to the JRPG and the Last of Us 2 this week. I might just play Spellbreak or Among Us. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out, but I'll be live those nights. So that is going to be the end of our show. Just did hit before 10 o'clock, which is our goal. With Miss Kooly here, seeing as I met you through Third Artifact, I think it's only right that tonight we then raid Third Artifact. So that's where we're going to go. How the fuck is that an invalid username? Bullshit. Raid Third_Artifact. That is how it is. Thank you. I put a... No, what did I do wrong the first time? I have no idea. It's spelled the exact same anyway. Anyway, it's going to be a Fireside raid, guys. As we do at the end of the podcast. So, pretty simple. Just that, because I know no one has all 4 of our emotes, so... It's a little Fireside raid. She knows what's going on, because she's been on the show before. So, by all means, guys, copy that link in there. And again... We will hopefully see you guys next Sunday night here at the podcast. KoolySmiley, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And
if you ever want to come back on, by all means, we will have you back.
Heck yeah. Thank you
we would
so much.
absolutely love to have you back on.
This makes me miss when we left Waby and had the clap emotes.
Oh my god!
I was thinking that the other day, and I was like, man, I missed the clap emotes.
Oh man. Guys,
you guys had the clap?
Sorry. Mercy. We're gonna go away before this goes the wrong direction. Oh my god!
It was a bad service.
That was a terrible service, guys. Y'all have so much fun over there with Third Artifact. Tell her that we love her. Have a good night, guys. Peace.
Good night.
Night.
Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! I have to actually load up her stream here. I meant to load it up before I.
I wish the like. Stream manager let you do that. It just did it for you.
Yeah, well, it does, but my stream loads so damn long, and now I've missed what she said.
She said Eric Kai, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Then hi, Eric.
How are you?
I'm on it now.
How was your stream?
Oh, boy.